You're not busy. You are distracted. Are you wearing the busy badge of honor? Thinking that you're going to be so busy that you're going to win the gold medal of busyness? I'm here to share with you 5 solutions so that you can remove yourself from the busyness trap and regain control of your life and your time. The first, we all have 168 hours in our week. How are we spending them? When my kids were growing up, they were teenagers, my son wanted a bicycle. And he was out, he was busting his rump working. He'd go to school, he'd come home, he'd run out to work, he'd work on the weekends, he'd pick up odd jobs wherever he could. And he wanted to buy this bicycle, a mountain bike, and it was really expensive. And I said to him, you go out, you work hard for your money, you can go buy the bicycle, but I want you to think about it like this. Is that bicycle worth X amount of hours? Now, at the time, he was making, $10, $15 an hour, and the bike was $800, $900, whatever it was. The point is, think about that bicycle, think about that purchase in not dollars per se, but time spent earning those dollars. Bring this back to 168 hours in a week. You have 168 hours in your week. How do you choose to use each of those hours? Right? 56 of those hours are used sleeping. 40 of those hours are used working. Another 30, 35 hours is used commuting back and forth to work. It's used shopping, taking a shower, cooking meals, things along those lines. And what that boils down to is you have about 35 hours of miscellaneous time, discretionary time for you to spend. How are you spending those 35 hours? Are you spending those 35 hours on things that are going to move the needle for your purpose, move the needle for your goals? Or are you spending that time moving the needle for somebody else's goals, somebody else's purpose? This leads us to number 2. If you have more than 3 priorities, you don't have any priorities. Your priorities are based upon what you want to achieve in life. If you're running around like the proverbial chicken without a head in 20,000 different directions trying to please everyone, you're going to be busy, but you're not going to be what I call busy productive. You're not going to be productive in your day. You're not going to be productive in those 35 hours. So you're going to be taking those 35 hours and just doling them out wherever, and you're not going to move the needle for you. You're not going to be feeling fulfilled in your day. We feel busy, but do we feel fulfilled? We feel busy, but do we feel overwhelmed? I bet you the predominant amount of people out there are feeling overwhelmed, and when I ask, why are you overwhelmed? They respond with, I'm so busy. Well, what are you busy doing? Are you tracking your time? Are you using a time tracker? Excel's the perfect thing for this, or you can use your calendar. 15-minute increments, half-hour increments. What are you doing during the day? Where are the holes in your day? Are you moving the needle towards your goals and your purpose? Number 3, know your purpose and your goals. Your purpose is based upon your vision. What do you really want to accomplish in life? What do you want to be known for? That's what your purpose is. Your purpose is why you were placed on this earth. 1 in 400 trillion. That's the odds of you, specifically you as an individual, being born. 1 in 400 trillion. That's an amazing number. You're meant to do big things in this world. And you can do those big things. Know your purpose. And make sure that it's your purpose. Don't have a purpose because you believe that's what you should do because of what everybody else has said. You'll know deep down inside if that's your purpose or not. Whatever you choose to do. Sometimes it takes people longer to get into their purpose, but you know whether you're living in your purpose or not. Do you feel fulfilled? That's the best and easiest measurement to use. Once you know your purpose, know your goals, because those goals are going to move the needle to get you to that purpose. This is all about having focus, knowing where you're going, having a roadmap. You can't get from New York to California by just saying, I want to go to California. You have to know that California's to the west. At bare minimum, you have to know California's to the west. And you have to know that you're traveling in a westerly direction. Because you could be traveling for days, weeks, and months and end up in Florida. You're like, how'd I get here? Because you didn't have any direction. You didn't have any purpose. Number 4. This is a big one. We all have, and I truly believe in this, we all have the power of choice. We're where we are in life because of the choices we've made in the past. And if that is true, then we're living our future's past right now. So if we're not happy with life, if we're not feeling fulfilled, if we're feeling too busy, then we have the power of choice to change that. The best way? Start saying no. Say no to the invitation. Say no to the request. You're allowed to say no. Warren Buffett has a quote, and I'm going to paraphrase here, but it goes something to the effect of, the difference between successful people and very successful people is very successful people say no to almost everything. They know how to say no. I appreciate you thinking of me. I'm not available at that time. That's all. You don't have to come up with some bullshit excuse that the puppy dog's sick or I gotta go to the vet or I'm not feeling well. Politely decline the invitation. That's what Buffett does. He says no more times than he says yes. Because he knows when he says no, it's not in alignment with his purpose. It's not in alignment with his goals. It's not going to move the needle forward. The power of choice. We have the power of choice. We want it because we want it. Whatever it is in your life that you want, you don't have to explain that to anyone. I want it because I want it. That's all. And they're going to say to you, well, why do you need it? I don't need it. I want it. And that's the end of it. So go out there and use that power of choice. Use your choice to set up your life. If it's not, when I get an invitation or if somebody calls me and wants to go somewhere or do something, if it's not a hell yeah, then it's a no. And along that same line, it's a lot easier for me to say no in the moment and change my mind to yes. Hey, Joe, plans changed. I'd love to join you if it's still available. That's so much better, and it makes Joe so much more happy than that last-minute cancellation that we all do. We're all guilty of it. Number 5. Number 5 is, and this is going to sound contradictory. Number 5 is rest. That's right. How do you become more productive? Through rest. The harder we're working, the more focused we are, the more focused we become, the bigger the challenges we're tackling, the more rest we need. That rest allows our body to calm. It brings peace to us. And through that, our minds can start operating and thinking more and more and more. The harder I work, the longer I rest. I give my mind time to just kind of vegetate. And that can look like all sorts of different things. When I'm talking about rest, yes, I'm talking about sleep. I'm talking about physical rest. But I'm also talking about removing myself from the environment of work, of being busy. For me, that looks like out in nature. I love being outside. I love being outdoors, mowing the lawn, splitting wood, going for a hike, watching the birds visit the bird feeder, whatever it may be. I love being outside. That's how I get my best rest. Meditation's another one. Massages are another one. It's whatever brings you relaxation. Because a relaxed mind can think more clearly. We're in rest and digest, not fight and flight. If we're constantly stressed, if we're constantly going, hustle, never stop. When we're constantly doing that, we're constantly in a state of stress. Our mind breaks down. We don't make as good of decisions. Multitasking? Nobody can multitask. I want you to say the alphabet, right? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, right? And now count 1 to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, match the letter with the number. A1, B2, C3, D4, E. Or do it backwards. It's very difficult. There are no multitaskers. Your mind actually goes from one task and does that, and then it has to switch and go to another task. And it has to do that. The problem is it's still thinking about the previous task. So it's not as efficient. Multitasking's bullshit. Focus on one thing, get that one thing done, and then move on to another. Rest is how we bring calmness and peace to our mind so that our mind can operate at its optimal. Those are the 5 solutions I'm offering you. 168 hours in a week. How are you spending the discretionary 35 hours that we have? What are your 3 priorities? What's your purpose? And what goals have you written out to get to that purpose? Know the direction you're moving in. Know the power of choice. We all have the power of choice. And no, we're allowed to say, I'm giving you permission to say no. You're allowed to say no. You're allowed to be selfish. People are going to say you're selfish. You're allowed to be selfish. No. And the one that seems like an oxymoron, rest. How can I be more productive and busy productive if I'm resting more? Try it out. Let me know what you think, because it works for me. And if it works for me, I'm sure it'll work for you. Guys, around here, we live up in the numerator, not down in the denominator. Go out there and be unstoppable and absolutely crush your day. I love spending time with you. Have a very blessed day. You notice I wasn't wearing my shirt today. Enjoy the day, guys.